Hey guys, it's Heather the Crochet Witch. How are you guys doing today? It's the wee hours of the morning. I'm attempting to get a couple videos done because I am sick. If you can't hear it in my voice, I got something from one of my coworkers, I think, and she swears she didn't, but she was the only one who was sick. But I just don't know what my voice will sound like tomorrow. So I wanted to get some stuff done tonight, some videos for you. I am very excited to show you what I've been working on, which is just like basically happiness for me right now, right? I know I showed you that I started busting in to, if you are not familiar, first of all, hello. If you're not familiar, my name is Heather, and I am obsessed with vintagey, retro-y, 80s type of things, and thus the show Stranger Things, etc., etc. One of my obsessions is vintage retro yarn. Like, I don't need stuff from like the super early, I don't need any yarn from 1920 or, I mean, that'd be kind of cool just to have, but, when I say that, I mean like all the funky ombre type colors and things like that from like the 70s, the 80s. The yarns a lot of people probably consider scratchy, but I swear they soften up when you use them, when you wash them. Maybe not every single one does. I swear the ones that I used have. And I like to collect them. I love the vintagey yarns, right? I love them. So I don't remember which ones I've showed you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you that I made a stack from my, I just like pulled one, and like, I'm just, like, for example, I just pulled one skein. This is one of the ones I just got from eBay. I showed you a few videos ago. But I would pull a skein and just decide to make the squares from it and literally see how many squares can be made from that skein of yarn. So, like, I'm going to guess this one would be 7 or 8, just from what I've done so far. Maybe a little less. It's a little floppy. I wonder if somebody used some of that. I think that I started off, or I think that I showed you because I'm sure I started off with, I had this leftover blue and white. I do have another skein of this, maybe 2, but at least 1. But this was left over because I used it in a project, and I just decided however many rounds I can get out of this, which is 5, the answer's 5, that's what size my squares are going to be. So using an H-hook, using just my granny square, like the way I do granny squares, I made a 5-round granny square. And I think this is beautiful. This is what I'm talking about, like just the ombre-ness of it, and I love it so much. So I made that one. So then I went to my shelf out in the other room, and I knew I had this one just sitting there, and it's called, I don't remember if it's called brown ombre. I can't remember, honestly. But this one was a full skein, and so I decided to see how many squares I could get out of it. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I got 8 out of that one. Like I said, it was a full skein. Set that up here. And the next one that I pulled out was a Red Heart Puff, I believe is the name of it. And I know I have a second skein of this, which is going to end up here. But it has like almost like a sheen to it, like the way the old, if you're familiar with vintage yarns, it's basically like a dazzler. But there is like this halo-y sheen to it that's probably, see at the top, you can almost see it. You can see it, but anyway, it's Red Heart Puff was the name of this, and this was orange or orange ombre or something like that. And yeah, I just made as many squares as I could out of it, and I love this yarn. I love the look of it. This again is so me. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 8. And this I think I mentioned I know I showed you these because I think I had mentioned that I know a lot of people would look at this and see like a sunny day, the nice warmth that everybody's craving lately. I look at this and I see candy corn and Halloween and just all of that fall goodness. So my brain does not work the same as everyone's, but I'm happy with it. And there's my pile of 8. And then I had, from like an eBay binge of vintage yarns, I had been sent kind of like a bonus. Like I didn't buy this bundle. I think it was like one of my orange and brown yarns, and they sent another skein as like a bonus. But I think it's called Black, Blue, Purple, or Purple, Black, Blue, or something like that. But I made this square. Now this yarn seemed ever so much thinner, like maybe a thick 3 instead of a 4, that kind of thing. And I mean, actually it's about the same size. I was afraid that they were working up just slightly smaller, which would have been fine also, but no, they're about the same size. But I think I got an extra 1 or 2 out of this. So that's the way it works up. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I only got 10. I thought I had 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Never mind. I got 10, I guess. Yeah, I didn't drop these anywhere along the way. So I got 10 of them. I think it was because I almost had an 11, but I couldn't quite get the last round. And I like these to be whole, not like, normally if I make a granny square, I just pick up a different yarn, and I like the scrappy look, and that was that. But I wanted them to be whole. Then we need to make a video of just me going through. I have out in the living room, there are like posters inside of poster frames leaned against my yarn, so that Maverick and then like Otis and the girls, when they were all here, they couldn't get into it easily because it's, it's down on the ground level of a bottom shelf. But I have like buckets, like totes and buckets of yarn, and that as I put them away, some of those became like a catch-all, carry-all, kind of thing. We should make a video of just going through those, because what I pulled out, I had gotten from Goodwill, like a treasure of vintage yarns that were just in small little cakes. So maybe partially used, or maybe the smaller skeins, or I don't know, but they were in cakes. They had no labels. This was one of them. And I just got 2 squares out of it, but it's this pretty like light pastelish color. And I got 2 of those, kind of Eastery, right? I do have another skein of this. This was just like the little cake. So I will get the skein out also. But I got 2 of those. And then the last one of the squares so far, which was this was another like small cake of Goodwill treasure. But these remind me, my favorite flower is a daffodil. And these remind me like of daffodils, which I love. I got 3 out of that. I thought I was only going to get 2 because I got 2 out of the pastels, but I got a third and had almost nothing left over. It was just like meant to be to have another square of this. And let me tell you, this is one example of, like, before I was even done with the first square, so the second and the third were both a dream to make. It was almost like butter going through my hands. It felt so soft. I know that sounds so weird, and they don't feel rough now, but working with it just felt so soft. It was ridiculous. But yeah, so that's my, it's a yellow ombre. And I got 3 out of that little one. I do not have any extras of that, but I like it a lot. I have 2 kind of like super treasured vintage yarns that were also caked in that Goodwill find back then in the day. This is one, and this is what I'm going to be working with next. And it has like the orange in real life is a little bit more, it's almost like so coppery orange that it's red. It's like a coppery red. I don't know how else to describe that, but it's pretty red compared to the other oranges that I have and have seen. And then brown, white, and like this goldish yellow. I have never seen a yarn like this that I know of, but I would love to find it. I would love to find it a lot, but I'm going to make this into squares. And the other one was also caked up from the same Goodwill. I mean, it was just that particular day had some good small cakes of yarn, like for me. I didn't bring it in here, but it's a lot like this. It's white, dark brown, yellow, and then an orange. Like where I said this one's almost a reddish orange, that one was like an orange, right? My cousin, I posted it on Facebook, and I was just like, this is so beautiful. My cousin found that yarn. So I will tell you more about it in a different video, but I went to the website she found it on. They had a vintage yarn lot. It wasn't eBay. And it was a really good price. I'll get into all of that then, but I bought it. So hopefully that was a good site. And I was literally at work and I was showing my friend Nate, and I was like, I have to have, look at this. I have to have this. So hopefully we're all good. I paid through PayPal, so you know, we can work it out if it's not legit, but hopefully it is. And I'll have a vintage yarn haul to show you just from that. But it had some of that, and it had a few yarns that I have some of already. And then before she showed me that site, I had found one of them. I don't know why I'm still holding this one and talking about a different yarn. I really like this yarn. I had found one of the brown, orange, gold, whites in red heart form. And I think it's literally just called red heart oranges. But, which I don't get because it has yellow and brown and white, but okay, oranges it is. And I made them an offer and I got that. And then my cousin showed me this and I was like, well, I have to have that. But so one of my goals, either for this room or probably the one upstairs, since I've already got my Stranger Things like decor going on up there. One of my goals is when I start wheedling down my yarn is to have enough room to get like a vintage piece of furniture, like a vintage chair or a vintage love seat. Something I can sit on with Maverick, hopefully, or have Maverick in my lap if it's a chair or whatnot. And get like the floor model, like retro TVs, you know. I found a video how to make a retro TV into basically a smart TV, like just hook up this, you know. And I just imagine like sitting there in all my like 80s happiness with my 80s yarn, 70s, 80s, whatever, making something and watching like Magnum PI, right? Like that is like, or Stranger Things, you know, of course, but you know, just something, if we're going everything vintage, that is like my dream. And that, I don't know, that dream just like sprouted forth again, thinking about this yarn. So I've been in dreamland, needless to say. But yeah, so those were the squares that I got done. I needed to do something that made me just really happy. And I want to have a huge amount of them and put them together in this just very retro blanket, vintage retro happiness, basically. So that is the progress I have on that. That being said, I'm going to do my stitch marker of the day, which is from Miss Ellie Leva. Hopefully I've remembered to put her channel information down below so you can check her out. But I've been opening her Easter stitch markers. And today we have 8, day 8. Look at the cute like foam egg on it. Because Easter obviously was last week. And I don't have her set fully opened yet. Yay! There's another bunny. I was hoping for lots of bunnies in this. How cute. That's like a wooden bead with a bunch of different Eastery, pastel-y looking beads next to him. He's a happy bunny. Oh my gosh, I love him. Thank you so much, Ellie. And like I said, hopefully I have put her information down below in case you guys are also interested in stitch marker advent calendars, because she always does a bunch of different fun holidays and such. My voice is going. I can hear it. So with that being said, I'm going to cut this shorter than I could go on and on about the 80s stuff, the 80s yarn and everything, and the big dream of crocheting in my 80s vintage room, but I will cut it short. I will just say thank you so much for joining me, and yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. All right, I love you. Bye, guys.